Alright, we should be back again. Curse of the part 1, part 2, I think. Let's see. Alright, looks like we're here. Right, what's time? Just before 12. Let's get on the pole again. I haven't had any signs of fish, so what we'll do is we'll switch. We'll have a few runs through on the pole, and if that's unsuccessful, I will start to put in a whole host of chop worm. Let's try and get some brain in the peg. That right round. So as I was just saying before the break, as it were, that I was going to go back on the pole, have some runs through on the pole just in case some fish are sitting just a little bit further off the bait as the chub were earlier, and if not, then it'll be back onto the pole feeder with a load of chop worm. Looking to catch bream for the last few hours. That's going to have to be the plan. You know, even if some roach have turned up in the peg, I've got to catch at least 6 pound of them to draw level. So, you know, it's only going to be big fish that are going to do me any good for the rest of the match. So we'll have a quick look. There might be some chub hanging around, and that double maggot going through the water might be enough to attract their attention. But if not, we're going to go for a very smelly chop worm and pellet approach for the rest of the match. I've got to get some bream in. Come on, float, go under, go under, go under. Not looking likely. This is after 3 runs. Gonna do a couple more runs. This, you know, I wanted into, you know, quick signs of fish if there was fish to be had a little bit further on this maggot. Right, this will be the last one, I think. It's getting a bit awkward. Alright, might end up on that at the end of the day. I think it's time to get chop worm in the peg. What am I doing with that? So, make a bunch of chop worm, and that's going to go into this ground bait. Try and maximise the scent. I'm going to pot a couple of these in, and then I'm going to put some pellets in and do everything I can to create a big smelly trail that's going to go down the river. So I'll just pop these in. And then one more just with some pinkies in it, I think. Grab the pot back. Welcome back, Steve. I don't know why the connection dropped. Another two-part video. For sure. More chopped worm. We'll get some of these pellets. There's some chopped worm. You can just see that there. For maximum stink. That's what we've got to try and catch. I don't think I've ever heard of a chub weight beating a bream weight. So see if I get that camera sorted out again. Okay, picture's good. So again, I think I want to leave this, you know, maybe 10 minutes, 18 casts between now and the end of the match. Something like that. Let's do that. 10-minute casts, each one of them with a load of chopped worm in it, and some pellets. See if it's going to be enough to draw some bream into my peg and snare them with this double dendrobina on the hook. My only options are that or start chucking the feeder into the middle of the river. Oh, now he's got a bream to my left. Brian has got a cheeky bream or chub. What is it?
Bream.
Slab?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm in big trouble. Brian's got a bream to my left. He's not fishing much further out than I am. The competition's hotting up, Brian. So maybe that signals that they're moving up the river, you know. Let's hope that's what it signifies. There's a bream shoal, and it's going to slowly work its way up the river during the day. And they've made it to Brian. And now let's hope they're going to make it to me. I'm just waiting for that telltale thump thump of the pole as a bream gets the bait, hooks itself and shakes its head. What I don't want now is I don't want Reg on my right to hook one before I do, because that would mean they've skipped me. It's a very difficult choice, whether I chuck it out or whether I chuck it out into the river, or whether what's the name, I'm going to watch where Brian casts. A big old feeder. He is, okay, he's fishing about another 5 meters, 6 meters in front of me. He's not quite halfway in the river, I don't think. I've got to be confident in what I'm doing now though. There's a few bream showing. I've caught loads of bream on the pole feeder, just like this. So I should remain confident in what I'm doing, I think. Well, just do a quick summary. It's just 12:15, so a little bit late again, but I've had a couple of fish. I've got 2 small chub for about £2 in a match where there are bream being caught. I know I've one to my right, one to my left, a couple to the left of him, and one to the left of that. So I'm way behind on weight. You've got to assume that the average size of the bream in here are about £4, £5 maybe. So the gentleman with 2 bream should have somewhere between £8 to £10. Could be as big as £6 each though. So, you know, let's work off the assumption of it's £10. Let's go for £10. So I've got £8 deficit. So So I've got to catch at least 2 bream to catch up with him. And then because he'd had those 2 within the first hour and a half, it's fair to assume that he's going to catch another 3. So I've got to catch 5. Now, gentleman to my left, Brian's just had one. And hi Richard. Or bonjour, I'm not sure which I should say, but I'll go for hi. So Brian to my left, he's just had 1 bream. So I'm watching my pole, holding on to my pole, so I feel the bite if I get one, and I'm watching him. If he catches another bream in the middle of the river, and he's just struck, but he's not got a fish on. That a bite, Brian? I'm watching you. I'm just talking to everyone, saying if he gets another fish,
I'll be a contender.
where you're fishing another 6 to 10 metres out compared to me, I might have to rethink. They're not really a single shoal fish though, are they? I often think if you've had like 2 or 3, then maybe the shoal was 20 plus.
Yeah.
So I am watching Brian to my left. If he catches more bream, it's going to give me no choice but to fish further out, I think. I really don't think I need to, but let's see. I've got my load of chopped worm chopped. I think I'll go and do another load now. So yeah, I think to be happy, I've got to catch 5 bream now in 3 hours. So we'll give this cast till 25 past, and then we'll put some more chopped worm in. I'm essentially just trying to send scent all the way down the river into where there's people catching bream. I'm a firm believer that the shoals of bream in here move up and down the river. You can have a few fish and then they go. So when you have one, you've got to try and be quick and efficient to get back out there again. Because my view is that the shoals are quite large. I don't really believe that bream are swimming around on their own in here. So if there's bream close, I want to make sure that I'm putting in plenty of scent to draw them up to where I'm fishing. And hopefully get them to stay. Ideally, when I make a video of this session today, this will be where the next thing everyone sees is me catching a bream. See, he's had a couple of quick casts, Brian. I wonder if he's just trying to think, you know, I've had a fish, maybe there's some more there, I need to put some bait out there now to try and hold them. Maybe that's what he's doing. Not sure. Right, 2 more minutes and then I'll bring it in. If I was fishing on a commercial right now and we were catching carp on pellets, I would start increasing my rate of feed of pellets to try and create the noise and attraction to drag fish out of other people's pegs, but can't quite do that on the river. Well, not that I know, maybe scent is the only way. Yeah, I mean, whether it's 4 or 10 ant, they're laden with top worm. Definitely got to make an effort, horrible as it sounds, to get them to, if they're in Brian's peg next door, get them to leave, get them up into mine. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely it's a bream match now. You know, I've got no choice. It's 2 bream caught to my left. As I said, somewhere between 8 to 10 pound, and I've got 2 pounds. So, whilst I was very happy to save that blank earlier, now I've got a bream to my right, bream to my left, 2 bream to the left of that, bream to the left of that. No, John, I'm still on the 2 chub, but there's been reports of 4 bream caught in the section. Someone had 2, and the gentleman to my left's had a bream that's probably 5 pounds. So, you know, that's the sort of average stamp, 4 or 5 pound in here. So, I've got to go all out for trying to catch a load of bream, so I've cupped in a load of chopped worm and some ground bait, and now I'm putting in chopped worm through the feeder. Excuse me, and as I was just discussing with Anthony, it's going to be pretty regular. And try and send that scent down the river and draw them fish up. So I think the next one will be another load of those pellets. So just put those there. Still, regardless, it's an absolutely lovely day, and it's just really nice to be out. Looks like stream's lagging again, I don't know why. It's a really good upload speed here as well. Unfortunately, I can't control it. Yeah, if it's a little bit of lag, it's alright, but it shouldn't be any. You know, I've got, what was the upload speed? 30 meg? You know, you only need 5 meg to upload, really, on video, or to stream. But yeah, it seems to be a little bit random. Right, one more minute, I'll put some more bait in. Brian has definitely increased his casting on the left hand side of me. I think he thinks the same. That was a bite, I've missed it. Oh! Look at that. That's called a shredded worm. Look at the state of them. Right. Let's get back out there. They've definitely been down a fish's throat. How I've not managed to hook that fish, I don't know, but right. That was a nice chopped worm pile. It's very unusual to miss a bite on the pole feeder as well. more. Come on. Come on, bream. It's not very good when you're wearing a white hat and fishing with chop worms all over your fingers. Made a right mess of that, and I look. It's a size, my steadfast go-to bream on the pole feeder hook, but I've definitely missed that bite, and those worms have definitely been down to a fish's throat in my mind, the way they've been squashed. But it's a great sign. Let's get one on the hook. Brian continues to cast quite a lot. He's probably watching my stream. Listening as I'm talking about trying to drag fish out of his peg. It's a size 12 MWGB, Anthony. Oh, a grebe just came up in my peg. I hope it wasn't a grebe, but I'm sure it wasn't a grebe, so I don't need to worry about it. It is working my peg though, that grebe. It's gone down again. It's moved off to the right, good. I don't want it spooking any of my fish. Oh no, there's two of them. I tell a lie. The pair of them have come back to work my peg. Come on, bream. These slabs like to hook themselves on them though, Ant, normally. And there is barbel in the stretch, right? And carp. Not that they generally show, but come on, come on, come on, come on, before I want to feed again in a minute. I'll have a look at those ones though, by the way. But yeah, these are on 017. These are on 017, but the slabs are like, you know, the bream are generally £4 or £5 average. You don't catch a small one, and they're up to 6, 6.5. Right, let's put this one in and then maybe leave it just a little bit longer. Let's put some crunchy casters in with it. Can't believe all the days that I've missed a bite, you know. All the days to miss a bite is not today. Right. I used to use 14s at gold, and I've changed to 12s now, Anthony. I've gone right off 14s. Right off them. I always used to use a 12 on a pellet waggler and a 14 QM1, but I've gone off them. I've gone up to 12s. Right, 1:45. I'm going to leave this one a little bit longer. 10 minutes we'll give this. Come on. So it's that point where I just say, if you're enjoying the stream, then if you give it a thumbs up, give it a like, it really helps support the channel, shows, you know, interaction, and you're enjoying it, and then ultimately will encourage YouTube to put it in front of more people. So give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button. It's a easy way to find your way back to my channel and enjoy a, you know, nice wide variety of fishing that's, you know, all live, you know. Get to see everything as it happens. I discuss my thoughts about why I'm doing what I'm doing. Maybe you can learn some things, and maybe we just have a chat about fishing. Who knows? But right now the challenge is drag some bream up the river into my peg and try and catch 5 of them, which I'm currently failing at. What was in the lunchbox? Cheese sandwich, because I thought it wouldn't taste yuck if it got it too hot in the sun. A can of Coke, 2 chocolate bars, and a packet of Monster Munch. It's been my standard winter lunchbox. Exactly, we do want big bream. We do want big bream. Come on. I had just shy of 50 pounder bream in the Riverfest qualifier in just over an hour, and that peg was 5 minutes walk to my left. You can't actually walk all the way because there's a cutback of water there, but it is effectively 5 minutes walk away. Let's hope the scent has gone all the way down there. Come on. 3. Ten till 3 today. Come on, bream. I need you to make an appearance. Where's the rest of those bream, Brian? So, just while we're here and we're waiting for the bream to show up, just sort of let you know I'm fishing the Maven Match this qualifier at Tunnel Barn Farm in, when is it, 3 weekends time. So because of the nature of the signal at Tunnel Barn Farm, I will be streaming that live on Twitch instead of YouTube. So if you want to get yourself prepared in advance for that, head over to Twitch, www.twitch.com. You can find my channel in the search box really easy because it's called The Fishing Stream, and you can bookmark that, ready to watch that match live. And what I've said is that I will try and stream it to Twitch, which I'll be doing with a different setup, so hopefully that's going to work. So I'll be streaming it live on that platform. And then I will take the whole 5 hours, and I will put the whole 5 hours onto YouTube afterwards, and then do a little video highlight reel. So if you want to see it live, that's where it's going to be, and that will be the same for the upcoming festivals that I've got at Tunnel Barn Farm as well. The Spring Spectacular and the Daiwa Pole Masters a little bit later. So yeah, just head over to Twitch, and you can create yourself an account. It's free, and then we'll be able to chat just as we can here. And fingers crossed you'll be able to watch a lot of live fishing from Tunnel Barn Farm. Unfortunately, the venues is very sporadic for the connections. So out of the 6 or 7 pools, I can only stream on sort of half of one and half of another one. So I thought I'd try something else. So instead of just a highlight video, you should still be able to get the full live experience. So yeah, I think it's the end of March. Give this 4 more minutes and then redo it. I thought Brian had another one then, but I think that was a speculative strike just before he was going to bring it in. I think this next one I'm going to actually put it just slightly to the left. Go just slightly down river. Just in case they're hanging down there a little bit, you know. a minute. Packed that in a little bit too much, did I? I reckon. No, maybe not. In case the fish are being crafty and just hanging slightly downstream. Let's put it on there. That bite gave me a lot of confidence, but I need some more to, you know, help develop into actually, you know, fish. Jay Bird, how you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome to the channel. So we'll just do the next update. We're just coming up to 1 o'clock. We've got 2 hours left in the match, and currently I'm nowhere. I've got 2 little chub that will probably go £2 between, and I'm desperately trying everything I can to add me to that group of anglers. I'm putting a lot of chop worm, a lot of caster. I've put a bit more ground bait in. I'm fishing the pole feeder with double dendrobina. I'm fishing for bream. I'm looking for bream, and I'm trying to do everything I can to try and catch myself a bream. I need the bream to also think that's a good idea. So I've just tried one put in slightly to the left in case the fish was sitting downstream of my bait. I've had one bite on the double dendrobina. The worms were chewed to bits. So how I missed that bite, I really don't know. But you know, these things happen. But hopefully I can entice some bream into my peg before the end of the match. still, it's a lovely day to be out. It's a gorgeous day to be fishing, so there's some good things. No, blank. J-Bird, I'm fishing a stretch of the River Thames called Cullen Reach, which is a Sutton Courtenay Angling Club water. Just in between Abingdon and, well, Cullen really. Yeah, no blank. And no bream either. But we'll keep going. You didn't lose the stream, Stephen. It cut out for some reason. I don't know why. Old Vodafone or YouTube let me down, but there's a fish. There's a fish. It's not a big fish, but it's a fish. Oh, hello. It's jumping around, isn't it? Why is it topping? Why is that top? There's a pike after it. I don't need that today. It's another chub. No, it's not. It's a trout. I've caught a trout in a match. Okay. I have no idea if that counts. What's that? The brown trout count? The brown trout count? Oh, I think it's a brown trout, yeah. It's a big trout. Yeah. Huh? Do you know, I've never hooked a fish and I don't know what it is. Yeah. It looks like it's got the end of a salmon. Look at that. I think that's a huge brown trout. Give me my hook bench back. That a bit tight. Alright, fish. Right, I don't know what it is. Hook's out. Anyone know what that is? Put your answers in the comments and I'll let you know later once I have a bunch of anglers verify it. Right, just rest there for a minute, fish. Right, hold on a second. Couple of pound? Should I throw it back? Hey, I need to put it in the river just to recover for a second. If it jumps out, everyone's seen it. Right, I've got to consider this fish's welfare. It's just gone hell for leather to try and get away. It's looking good. Right, let's get you back in here. certainly flapping around a lot. Sit upright fish. I suspect what might happen is this fish might recover. Just going to hold it there in the river for a minute. There's enough flow when it gets into the keep net, but I don't want it to. I'm not going to put it in and it go belly up at the top, so right, it's starting to swim around in the landing net. It could jump straight out. Right, swim around in that bit. That's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. You good to go? There, perfect. Right, one happy fish. Right, brown trout. They've caught brown trout out of season. Right, have it. That's a huge brownie, isn't it? I thought brown trout was small. Right, that is going on the club Facebook page as club match catch of the year. Right, let's be happy with that, everyone. Yeah, what did you win the match with, Graham? Oh, I caught a 30-pounder brown trout on a pole feeder. Slightly unconventional. That's why I reckon that was the same fish I hooked earlier. And I'm going to maintain in a discussion that I will have, I'm sure, that actually that was the fish that had my bait earlier. And the reason I didn't hook it is because it's really tough in the mouth. Right, I'm going to go back to fishing in the same spot, this one. Right. Is it small for a wild one? Alright. Yeah, I know they catch them. They catch them in our Appleford section. Well, I've heard of them being caught. Anyway, now I've caught one in a match on double dendrobina. Yeah, it's confirmed by the channel as a brown trout, Brian. Yeah. It's in the keep net. I don't think it's going to eat my 2 chub, so I reckon we're all right. But it was funny, I've hooked it, and suddenly it's come, I'm like, that's, no, I don't feel like a bream, it's another chub. And it's come straight to the top, and it's, you know, it's jumped out of the water, and I've thought, hold on a minute. Is it getting chased by a pike? They do when they've got a size 12 hook in them. That is probably true. Right, that's £2 then. Ground bait, Jerry, it's a combination of, it's a 3 mix. It's Census River Brown, Census River Dark, and Census Gros Gordon Roach. And it's a nice Let me just show you some that's not full of chopped worm. There it is. I can't see my hands, but the camera. So there it is, and it's sticky enough that I can form it into a ball that's rock hard. This would be great for getting to the bottom of this 9 foot that's out in front of me. So yeah, that's the mix. But it's a mix I've been using for, wow, certainly the whole of this season. And I think I started using it halfway through last season. It's done me really well. I've caught loads of roach, loads of bream. It's yeah, it just seems like a great mix for, you know, attracting the fish that are here. And you know, whether it contributed to 2 chub earlier on in the match, I don't know, but I've caught chub over it as well here and up in Abingdon town. So yeah, it's quite a nice, my standard mix. It's the same mix I used in Riverfest to catch all those bream, and a couple of other big bream weights I've had on it, and 20-pound roach weights, so it's all good. Right now though, the challenge is I've got to catch some bream to catch up in the match. So with that trout, let's say that's £2 at the best, it's £4. That puts me close to Brian on the left hand side. He's got a bream, he says it's £5. There was a bream up the right hand side, 2 bream to my left, so we've got to make this work, everybody. Got to catch some bream, and I've got an hour and 3/4 to do it. So if you haven't given the stream a thumbs up, you give it a thumbs up just for the trout. And if you haven't subscribed, then hit that button too. It's an easy way to find your way back next time I'm out fishing. Well, this trout certainly like those 2 worms for sure. Can you imagine that? I put in so much chopped worm, I'm just going to catch a load of trout. Saying that, I need some more chopped worm, more worm ready to go. Basis, I'm going to chop a lot of that. Right, what's the time? Just come up to 1/4 past. I'll just give it till, well, now really. Put it back in again. Let's put some more casters in with this one, I think. How interesting that fish is when I've gone slightly to the left. So I'll tell you what, let's do that again. it's just got a little bit stodgy from that chop worm. Right. I think that confused me with that trout was the size of it. I always thought brown trout were, you know, up to like a pound. I didn't realise you got big ones. You don't really get many trout at Gold Valley or Tunnel Barn Farm. It's not really the target species. I think that's the second brown trout I've ever caught. And I've got one rainbow trout to my name. And that rainbow trout was so long ago. I caught that when trout were first put into lakes. So you could fish all year round and bypass the close season, so you could fish trout fishing any method. Double dendrobina. I missed a bite earlier and it was like a thump bite, and I've missed it and I've come back and the worms were shredded, and I wonder if it was the same fish, just a bit more of a bony mouth. Did you say 31 pound, Patrick? Oh wow. Wow. Don't tell me people are catching that on a fly rod. They're catching that on a fly rod, or is that you're catching fish like that on lure rods? £31 must go absolutely nuts. That's got to be some pretty specialised tackle you're using to catch a fish like that. Well, it's certainly going to be the most interesting fish caught today, I reckon, in this stretch. Okay. Right, what is it? 21. Get this till 25 past, then I'll put it in again. I want to just keep putting this bait in regularly. So let's do a pellet. Let's do a pellet one next. What's that? Yeah, nice job. I used to be a member of Farnborough and District Angling Association, and we had a section of, I think it was the River Whitewater. It's just like a little chalk stream, I would say. Maybe that's the wrong description, but it was a little stream, it wasn't a river. And then someone discovered there was trout in there, and suddenly we had people from all over the country trying to fish this little stream, catching this trout. Cut a chub. There's a lot of bream caught further down the section.
How do you catch chubs? I've always wanted to try.
I've had them on double maggot, just trotting down a float.
Alright. You got anything?
2 chub and a trout.
Trout?
Yeah.
Didn't realise there was trout in it.
Yeah. Here and down at Appleford, most common.
Brown trout.
Yeah. I'm like the expert trout angler now. Right, let's go that in again. Right, there's a couple of times now. That's not emptied. I need to just chill out a little bit, I think, with the... I don't know why that's not emptied out enough. Stop attracting them dogs, Brian. I told you not to use dog food. That's a banned bait. There's a big farmer's field behind me, and it's a very popular dog walking spot. And it seems to be that well, yeah, interesting. This is the deepest. This is the deepest stretch. Huh? What's that? Is it? Is it? That's exactly what I've been doing. Yeah. I was trying to catch a pike, but I've caught a trout instead. See, I should have come fishing for that in a couple of weeks. See, on the basis that I think you can still fish for game fish, just come down and fish the pole feeder. I think that's right. When the course season ends, you can still fish for game fish in the river, I think. Now, if anyone wonders what you're doing, you can say you've got absolute evidence that you can catch trout fishing on a pole feeder with double worm. Right, what's the time? 1:30. So there's no real change of tactic. Brian had that one bream to my left. He's not had another one. I don't know how many more have been caught. I think this is the right line to still stay fishing on. I don't know what else I can do. I'm putting in a load of chopped worm. I'm putting in a load of pellets. I try and do anything I can to get some bream in my peg and hold them. So I don't think there's anything else I need to do apart from just keep doing this. and we hope that some bream come along. I think that's all there is to it for me, I think. Just looking at this, you know, I know I have some great days down here in the summer catching roach on the pole. I just wondering if I should come down here in the summer at some point and just wade out a little bit into the river. It's still about probably a foot, maybe just over a foot above its normal levels. I'm wondering if I should just come out, wade out a little bit and just fish a bollow just down the river, just firing out maggots. Maybe it'd just be a terrible idea and I'd catch bleak, but it would look really nice, I think, trotting down that to my left. As I say, because of the rushes, you'd have to walk out a little bit. It could be really nice. Yeah, agreed. To be honest, it's a nice day to finish the season on, match wise. Right, I'm just commenting the wind's getting up. It's a lovely warm day. Thanks for flies, yeah. Yeah. Turn up for a match with a fly rod. What are you doing? Just catching trout. I heard this trout to be caught. No bream, sadly. And just switch it. Try something else. I'm just going to put a dendrobina on. It's a small dendra. Slightly longer worm and a pinky. See if that might entice a bite from a fish. That's getting a bit windy. That'd be no good if I was trying to run the float through now. I don't think that would be manageable at all, really. Maybe have to slide it along on the bar. Yeah, you're getting all sorts of ideas now, John. Can you not do that with that bobbin thing? Is that what you've just said? The dapping rod. Well, also, don't you also, I say you, and you're now the channel trout expert, John. Am I right in thinking that sometimes trout anglers use something called a sight bobbin, which is effectively a float? So you could just flick that out on the end of the pole with a sight bobbin and a worm on a hook and say I'm fishing for trout. I'm sure that's the thing. I don't really know. How did we... Who would have thought that on my channel we would have ended up having a conversation about trout fishing? How's that happened? Yeah, there we go. Stay tuned, next season Graham goes fishing with a sight bobbin on the pole with a nymph. Ah, I can't do because it's nymph's a artificial bait, right? I'll have to get some real ones. I'll have to hook some real nymphs. Damselfly larvae or something like that. Right, come on Bream. This is a bit of a poor show. I'm just going to stick with it. They fished. Any good, Bob? Any good? I've shouted at Bob and I think I've woken him up. The gentleman to my right's fallen asleep. So yeah, the two guys to my right are this is the right thing. Keep putting some chop worm in. Keep casting relatively frequently. Yeah, okay. Yeah. If you came trout fishing in this stretch of the river, I reckon you're just going to catch pike. I reckon that's what's going to happen. Grebes are back. I wonder if there's a deeper channel, you know. I'm wondering, maybe not just like a bit deeper, but is it significantly deeper where that grebe is? It's slap bang in the middle of the river. That's where they've been working. There's one there and there's one there. It's just popped up in front of me. Now, I've not seen any of them catch a fish, but that's definitely where they're working. They're not working the far bank, they're not working this. You know, they're working slap bang in the river. You know, what do they know that I don't? Dear, yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. You can catch little jacks in here on all sorts of artificial lures. I don't care if it moves, they'll have it. Grebe catching fish. So that must mean there's silvers sitting in the middle of the river then. I wonder if the silver's just held up in a deeper channel just down the middle of the river. You wouldn't do any good catching them now, but makes me wonder what else is sitting in that channel then, if there's a channel there. Yeah, perfect job. Perfect. Give it a couple of months, I'll be catching carp down the edge, having a whale of a time. Not on the river, but on some commercials. Or catching a load of carp, fishing with 8mm pellets on a pellet waggler. Or a bomb, bring it on. I'm a specialist trout angler now, Neil. I'm going to have to give up everything else. I wonder if I'm just thinking about the bream today, right? Let's try and, you know, I was just trying to have some thoughts about it. You know, was there bream in my peg to start with? Don't know. Was there some in the middle? Don't know. Was there some on the far bank? Don't know, right? But as the day goes on, if you're not catching, am I best positioned where I am? I'm using this principle of, I've put a load of bait there, I keep putting scent through the water. If there's fish come up, they're going to come up here. But if those fish are on the far bank, you know, I don't know if their scent's like sharks. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if putting some scent here does anything about, you know, what's going on the far bank. I'm fishing 13 metres here, so let's assume the river is 50 metres wide, maybe a bit less, maybe 40 metres wide. It's got to be that. It's got to be 40. So actually, as the day goes on, and I've not caught, maybe I should be working my way out further into the middle of the river, and then hoping that if there's fish coming along the far bank, and that's where they've decided to come up the river today, or in the middle, then I've got a chance of catching them more than I've got a chance if I'm fishing on this edge of the middle, you know? If that makes sense. I'm sure it does. As the day goes on, where I've caught no fish, is it better to be out in the middle? But the only thing I've got sort of countering that idea is that's exactly what the guys to my right are doing. They're fishing in the middle, they're not catching any fish. So it's a bit hard to sort of draw any conclusions. Yeah, you keep moving out now. I'm trying to think now where I've gone on the pole feeder and I've either A, had to wait a long time to catch from the beginning, or B, when I've caught late on in the day, you know, after doing something else. I'm not sure. I've got this feeling that I either catch straight away or I don't. But they don't come. I don't know. I'm just thinking about this now. Definitely more accurate than fishing in the middle, because it's thrown a bit too far. They can't clip up. But have I ever caught on the pole feeder in like the 3rd and 4th hour? I don't know. I have to go a little look through the old back catalogue. Yeah, for sure the grebes aren't there for me to just look at. But that said, they're not catching bream, and the bream are notorious for coming up at this distance on this river. You know, I've caught to my right, I've caught load of bream on the pole feeder on the far bank, fishing the same distance out. I've caught a load of bream on the pole float further down on the next stretch. I've had a load of bream on the pole float. So that, you know, there's loads of bream. In fact, let me put it this way: I catch more bream at 13 meters on these stretches than anyone catches chucking it in the middle of the river. No, only a brown trout, about £2. I kid you not, Bob. Any more that way?
He's got 3 on the end.
Has he? I thought he'd have a few. I think we're in no man's land, Bob. So 1 bream on the first break has turned into 3 bream. I'm really happy for him. I think he's come a long way. Not sure if it's the right angler, but I did say to him this morning, if it's the guy I think it is, just fish 13 meters or chuck it in the middle, whichever you fancy. He's nearer to an outlet pipe, which I think comes in at slightly a warmer temperature, but yeah, I don't think anyone's caught as much fish as I've caught at 13 meters. Now, he's caught 3 bream up to my right, and he's probably chucked it in the middle of the river, right? And I've fished in and I've not caught, right? So that could also, because he's the end peg, that could be to do with it. It could also be due to the hot, well, not hot water, but there's a water pipe that comes out just to the left of him. That could have something to do with it. But no one's caught as much as I've caught short. So I've had 50-pound weights of bream on the pole. I've not fished a match here yet where someone's had more than that, chucking it in the middle. You know, he's had 3 fish, so he's got what, 15-pound. But maybe what I need to think about is, and I said I would do this and I haven't done it, which is a little bit annoying now. If I can't catch on the float, go on the pole feeder for an hour. If I don't catch on the pole feeder for an hour, lob it in the middle. And that is what I said I was going to do. Yeah, no, it's all fine, John. It's the purpose of the channel is to, you know, to have a little chat about what's going on and whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, especially in a match situation. So you're absolutely right. I've been waiting for bream to come to me and they've not come. So should I have done a little bit more about chucking in the middle, and would that have improved my chances of catching if they were coming up that far bank, you know? Got to fish a venue often enough to try and sort of draw these conclusions. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over my old videos, because I can, and that's one of the beauties of it, where I've had big weights of bream, and see when I caught them. If you for the River Masters, I caught them in the second hour, and then I sat for 3 hours without a fish, or pretty much 3 hours without a fish. When I had a load of them to my right, I think I had them relatively quickly. And then when I fished, I was quite away to my right. I was fishing the feeder and I caught like one in the middle and one late. Further to my left, I think I caught one early, one late. That was both those times I won the match. So yeah, I think I'm going to be able to go back over the old footage after that. You know, I've fished it for a year and a half now, maybe a little bit longer, so I've got enough sessions in this stretch. This time last year I had one chub 5 pound on the pole feeder, then didn't catch. I think maybe I lost that match to someone catching 2 bream. So I do wonder, maybe they either come quick or statistically you want to work your way out to the middle by halfway through the match, and then you can fish the remainder trying to maximise the opportunity either side. Maybe that's a thing, you know. I'm going to stay on this line just because I want another trout. And I've still got an hour, you know. I can catch 50 pound of bream in an hour. Not a problem. Not a problem. I could equally chuck it long, couldn't I? Should we do that? pull this winning hook length off, drop that behind me, right, let's chuck a load of pellet in the middle in this feeder. Try and be accurate and then go over it. Let's try and get it out a little bit better. A bit too sticky. Okay. Switch that idea for a second. Well, they caught up there, Bob? Any more up there? Yeah. I would have thought so. Come on, Brian, get that bait in. All right. Ooh. Get the hook length on. Switch to double worm. That's what I've got. Right. Quickly get a rod rest. Cast a bit of pinky. done a couple of casters with Pinky, and I've done, I think, one with hemp. Right. Yeah, sometimes I like to finish the whole match out, John, and then I can be absolutely sure that, you know, no fish came onto that line. I didn't put that much of a bow in that, I don't think. Brilliant. Should be enough. Pushing through that fast today, really. I should be able to hold with 50 grams if I can hold a 3 gram float at 13 meters. Not that that's any kind of real maths or ratios, but here we are. Let's sit with this thing in the air for the next 50 minutes. I definitely need to go and check that about those videos. Do I catch on the pole feeder quickly, and have I ever caught on the pole feeder late? I am wondering, you know. If you want this just to go boof, boof, right? I need to catch a carp or a barbel. I don't want to catch a bream now. I'm going to catch a barbel. I'll scream at someone with a different net. They are in here, but I don't think that they're in this bit right in front of me, and I don't think they show ever during the day, but they're certainly upstream of me before Abingdon Lock, so I guess there's always the chance that one has come for a day trip down to Cullen Reach. So I think we'll give this 5 minutes a cast, I think, something like that. Those first feeder falls I put in are pretty good. It's I'm not clipped up, but it's a pretty easy chuck, so it's just like chucking a bomb. So they should be pretty accurate to each other. And if they're not accurate left and right, they'll be accurate forwards and backwards, so it'll make a line anyway. I want to look up and the rod be bent in half. Gosh, there's some chopworm. I don't know what you're talking about, Neil. In fact, Neil, you know this isn't the first time I've done this. Go back and watch my video where I won the match fishing with my rod up at the upper moors. You can go and watch that match. You can watch the match where I fished to my right and won the match fishing like this. It cannot be denied though, my results on the pole feeder definitely outweigh the other anglers fishing, chucking feeders to the middle of the river. I definitely have better result on the pole feeder. But I'm gonna have to go and check what time of year it is and when I catch. I think last year when I had that £5 chub, I think Paul Harrop won the match. I was down there and I think he was here, or maybe that one to my right, and I think he caught just down in front of him. I think he ended up chucking bait like here and catching a bunch of skimmers. But I'll have to check it out. The thing with Neil though, John, is, you know, I took Neil fishing. We went fishing to a place we go to. We go to a carp venue and Neil goes and catches bream. You don't know what he's doing, so I don't know why he's criticising me. And he's got a bivvy, so I don't even know why we're even chatting now. Yeah, I think that's it now. I think that's probably exactly the case. I've just got to determine how long is it I need to fish the pole feeder before I decide they're not going to come on that line. And I'm fishing in a venue where we absolutely know the bream move around in reasonable sized shoals, and just, you know, they do move, so it's a bit hard to draw that conclusion, you know. Anyway, I had a nice day and I've caught a couple of chub on the pole, which is always fun, and I've had that lovely trout, which is just, you know, something I don't expect to happen very often. Did you ever go past halfway, Neil? Would you always stick to halfway? Actually, you're probably going to tell me you're forever casting to far bank features. Trying to catch chub under trees or something. So where are we? Just coming up to 30 minutes left. Lovely day, but I've not caught too much. I've had a couple of chub and a strange appearance from a brown trout on a match where there's been bream caught in the section, so I'm certainly not going to do any good in the match currently. And unless I catch about 4 bream in the next 30 minutes, I think that any dreams of doing okay are going to disappear. But I've had a lovely day, and I started on the pole at 13 metres. I put 10 balls in. I was fishing under the principle today of, if the fish want to feed, then I want to be the one feeding them, and I wanted to hold the fish in my peg. And I was going to, it's either going to be a big weight or nothing. I've gone over it with the pole float. I've run it through for about 20 minutes. Nothing's happened. Then I've had a bite. I've stayed on it, and I've had a little chub, about ½ a pound. And that's given me the confidence to stay on it, and actually probably over the next 10 minutes I've had another bite and then another chub, about £1.5 pounds. But then nothing for the next 20 minutes, so I made a move to the pole feeder. I thought that was the next logical step, and I fished that, putting in just some maggots and pinkies and caster. And I've had no success there, so probably about hour 3, I'll have to check the timings, but hour 3 I started putting chopped worm in, and I've had a brown trout, of all things, a couple of pound. But indications around me that people were catching bream, so I felt it was the right thing to do, to stay on the pole feeder for longer, in a hope to draw some bream to the peg, and it's not worked. So you find me now with 30 minutes to go, and I've lobbed the feeder in the middle of the river in a hope to see that, if that's a better idea, and if the tip goes over, then I'm going to decide it was a better idea. If it doesn't go over, then I'm not sure if it was or if it wasn't, so we will see. But I've had a nice day, and as I said, it's good to be back out, and lots of fishing coming up. But for my lives at Tunnel Barn Farm, then I will do them on Twitch, so make sure you head over to twitch.com. You can create yourself an account, it's free. You can watch all sorts of things on Twitch, and including my fishing, and you can find my channel really easily. It's called The Fishing Stream, just the same as this one. So you can find it there, and hit a follow, and then you'll be able to see when I go live. And the first time should be for the Maver match, this qualifier at Tunnel Barn Farm, in a couple of weeks. I'll try to stream that on Twitch. It should hopefully give me a better reception and broadcast quality than I do get through YouTube. So I'm going to give that a go, and if it works well, then the festivals that I fish there I'll also do on Twitch. So you got a couple of weeks, go and sort it out, go and find the page and hit the follow button, and then we can chat over there just the same as we chat here. So it should be good, and hopefully you can see a lot more live fishing at Tunnel Barn Farm than as I was able to do this year. So that's the plan. And we're gonna keep chucking this feeder every 5 minutes, I think, until the end of the day. Come on, bream. No. I've imagined the tip going over a couple of times, but it's not actually doing it. Yeah, see you later, John. Nice to meet you, mate. Catch you on the next one. Excuse me. Come on, Tip. I'm sure that's what the two gentlemen to my either side of me have been saying all day long. What we'll do is we'll give this another 5-6 minutes, and I think I'll have a couple of run throughs with the pole float if I can. It's a bit windy, but I'll give it a go to finish. I can understand why the gentleman to my right's fallen asleep. What I'll do is I won't show the weigh-in, but I'll have a chat to everyone as the weigh-in happens. I'll go up and I'll watch the weigh-in and have a conversation and just understand how these bream have been caught today, where they've caught them and stuff. See what information I can get out of them. Or obtain, I think get out of them is not the right way. I'm not going to interrogate the people. I'll give them the secrets to catching brown trout, and then give me the secrets to catching bream on days like today. It deepens up pretty quick. It's 9 foot where I was fishing the pole. Off the reeds, I think it's something like 6 foot. I do often wonder just about fishing. Yeah, not very far out at all, but I don't ever seem to think it works very well with another line at this time of year. People absolutely in the summer will fish a short line, and even if they're fishing a 13 metre, might fish a 9, which is the normal practice. And sometimes you might, when the river's not moving much, just chuck bait down there or drop a bait down there and try and catch some perch, but generally don't catch as much down there as you do out there. With the sweet spot being, if you can catch at 9 metres in the summer or 7, and then it's easier, you can be much more efficient. End of the month, Ron. I think it is 29th of March. If there's a Sunday the 29th, I think that might be it. I'll put it on the Ron, I'll put it on the posts, on the post section of the channel tonight. I'll put the weights up for the match, and I'll double check that date and I'll put it up there. But I think it's the 29th of March. It's the Maver Match This qualifier at Tunnel Barn Farm is the next time I plan to be live, but it'll be live on Twitch, not YouTube. Yeah, they do, Gareth, but not, I don't think in ever big enough quantities. You know, in the summer you can go out, you can ball it with 10 balls, go on top of it and catch first run down. I do it all the time. So you can do it, but it just takes away from fishing on your 9 metre or 30 metre line, and I don't ever see that people benefit from it. Right, that's enough of that, chucking that in the middle. It's windy as you like, but I'm going to try and run that pole float back down it again, just to finish in a way that I like the best on the stretch. So what do you reckon? Double maggot, chub first chuck. So yeah, I'll put it on. It should be the end of the month, but it will be on Twitch. And then what I'll do, for anyone that doesn't want to go and watch it on Twitch, I don't know why you wouldn't, by the way, but you can watch it on their website or download the app. But what I'll do is I'll take the full 5 hours and I'll post the full 5 hours onto YouTube, because I know people want a creature rabbit. So but yeah, ideally if you want to watch it live, you're going to watch it on Twitch. It'll be nice, just, you know, just a roach, just catch a roach, finish the river season on a roach. I had a 20-pound bag of roach this season from the far bank, and I was delighted with it. I was saying that, you know, if you speak to me as a you know, commercial angler who's used to catching F1s and carp on commercials, you know, if I catch a roach, you know, it's just a nuisance fish. You bring me to the river and you know, and I'm going to catch 20-pound of roach to win the match. It's great fishing, I absolutely love it. I managed to do that this season, nearly opposite from where I am actually. So if I'd have thought about it a little bit more, then what I would have tried to do is to try to draw the fish a little bit closer, so I could have fished 1 or 2 sections less, so it would have sped the whole process up. And I didn't think about it. I was too busy focusing on just catching the fish. But next season, that'll be in my mind, that when I top up, maybe I can top up 1 section closer and see if I can draw the fish in. Yo, should I go and catch a bream now, double maggot on the pole? So yeah, it might be 2-3 weeks till I'm live again, but as I said, I'll put it on the posts section. It used to be called community tab, it's now called posts, and I'll put it on there later tonight. Just there is where I would have expected to catch roach today. Maybe they're just still held up in the middle of the river or up in the tributaries and they don't want to come down just yet. It was lovely 4 hours ago when I had two chub. And I thought, oh, we're on for a good day here. But no, I do agree. It is a nice end to the match and the river season. Because I think next week will be a bit horrid. We've got one more week to go. The river's closed next Friday for 3 months, so people always try to get out towards the end of the season when the floods are starting to subside, and ironically the weather's been horrible and it's been nice these past 4 days, and it's going to be horrible again next week, so the temperature's going to drop. So I think any chance of catching fish was today, and the best chance before the end of the season. But I need to experiment next year. I've had a good season on the river. Not too good a season at Tunnel Barn Farm or Gull Valley, but I've had a good season on the river. And primarily my normal plan of attack has been 10 balls to start, and I want to fish a couple of days at the beginning of the season to see what happens if I put 16 balls in. In the summer I was having to top up after 45 minutes, and I want to see if putting 16 balls in just holds them for a bit longer, so I can spend a little bit of time chucking 6 extra balls in, and maybe I can get an extra half an hour's concentrated fishing out of it to improve my catch rate. So that's the thing for next season. I've been discussing that maybe up to 20 balls should go in at the beginning. So watch this space. This spike going down there really nicely. That float is not showing any signs of going under, but I'll stick with it for the next 7 minutes and fish the match out, I think. Come on, bream. It looks nice and it runs through nice. I can't get a bite. So you can't fish rivers between the 15th of March and the 16th of June. Effectively they're closed for what's called the closed season, which is a very controversial law that's very old, that most people think is designed to allow the fish to spawn, but I believe the actual origins were to close some rivers to try and catch some poaching a long, you know, hundreds of years ago. Anyway, fish spawn outside of the area for sure, so it's quite controversial, and a lot of river anglers complain because it means they effectively can fish, you know, for 6 months it's okay, 3 months of that it's good, and 3 months of it's flooded, and then 3 months are rubbish. So river anglers sort of complain that they miss, they don't even get 12 months, but they miss those 3 months, and that could have been good fishing. So they wish it was open. So it's very controversial. The law gets challenged. It never gets overturned. And I'm sort of torn, because if you allowed people to continue fishing the rivers during that period, then a lot of other things that clubs need to start thinking about wouldn't happen, because people would be too busy fishing. So during the closed season, we're not allowed to maintain the banks for the first few months because of bird nesting seasons and things like that. But it gives us time to sort of plan and, you know, walk the banks and talk about what pegs we need to repair, and, you know, what we need to dig out, you know, that type of stuff, which trees need to be removed. And if there wasn't a closed season and people just fish through, you'd never get everybody to come out and help do that work. So yeah, you can fly fish, but yeah, so I really sympathise with people that want to fish the river, but if you did, stuff wouldn't get done. And I don't think that fishing a lake is much, you know, is a big compromise. Oh, I'm going to run this through anyway. If I hit one now, it's after the whistle. Alright, that's the end of that. So everyone, that's the end of my match. Thank you for coming, I appreciate it as always. Thank you for all of the likes and the, I'm sure you've all hit subscribed. If you're not, you've hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Can't grab my rig here, it's too windy. And you know, that's it for the rivers for a few months. Like I said, I've had a good run this year, caught loads of roach, caught a bunch of bream, qualified for Riverfest, big match, and I'm very happy with my river season. So next year, let's see if we can catch a carp and a barbel out the river. I've got some plans and some ideas. So I'm going to get packed up now. I'm going to walk up, I'm going to watch the weigh-in, take some pictures for the club Facebook page. And like I said, tonight when I get in, I'll post up the next time I plan to go live, but it will be on Twitch. That's the intention. And hopefully you can join me there. So, you know, thanks for joining. And there we go. Steve, I've got 2 chub and a trout. Which was quite surprising. There's 3 bream, at least 3 bream at the beginning of the run. Gentleman to my left had left but 2, I think he'd had 2 bream after the first hour and a half. If he hasn't caught another 3, I'll be surprised. So I expect the match is going to be won with about 20 pound, but we'll see. I'm nowhere, but I've had a thoroughly nice time. I've had a good chat to everyone on the stream, a good chat to Brian next door, and I will catch everyone for the next one. So I'll say goodbye, and I'll post an update in a couple of hours when everything's done and we know where we finished. All right, so I will catch